Said episode 20. And we're live. Sorry. I was just asking if you about the episode number. That's funny. I'm like, oh, so you said episode. Well, okay, there we go. Red light.
It's like, you didn't give me any warning. My face might look crazy.
I wouldn't do that to you because that's just not what we do at all. So.
Sometimes the screen grab gets you.
There's no screen grab.
Well, you know how when you see like the video is stopped at a certain point and somebody's face that was in motion is in some awkward configuration for that still shot?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Like some of ours, actually.
Yeah. So that's why when I know we're started that way, then I can just fix my smile in hope that I don't get the crazy face.
That's funny.
So today might be crazy faced.
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to be okay. So, who are you?
I am Alicia Holland, one half of the lawyer team at Dahlia Law Group. Welcome to the Dahlia Law Group Legacy Live stream. Who are you?
You sounded like you didn't know for a second. I was like, who are you? And you were like, So, I am Jill Batesmore. I'm the other half of the Dahlia Law Group lawyer team. Dahlia Law Group is a law firm in Oakland, California, where we do the work of legacy. And to us, legacy is the concept that encompasses all that is only because you were here. So it is the stories, it is the artifacts, it is the assets, it is everything that is exclusively because you were here. And so to do the work of legacy, we use certain tools. We use the tools of estate planning, we use the tools of probate, we use the tools of litigation related to those areas, all in service of the legacy work. And we do that work because we believe that everybody has a legacy worth preserving. Every single one of us, no matter our social location, our financial location, no matter our level of acceptance inside or outside of the communities that we want to be a part of. Every single one of us. Everybody. So, this is the Legacy Live Stream where we talk about stuff related to legacy. And today, we are doing a peopling episode. Peopling is us being people. So, and you know what?
People and so am I.
Right. Peopling is a legacy issue. So we think it is appropriate here. But first, we will do as we always do, and that is we will check in with each other authentically and for real. So how you doing, Holland?
I'm doing all right. I am coming in a little hot and moving a little slow. But even in that, I'm all right. I somehow managed to hurt my ankle in my sleep. And so, so I have been hobbling around the house for 2 days. So it was a little touch and go when I was trying to get to my chair to be ready for this. And I'm like, oh, shoot, this is hard. I'm trying to carry the coffee and the water, and I got to do a couple of things on the way. Oh, boy. I hope this works out all right.
Okay.
So I made it, and there were no spills.
You know what? I'm grateful for everything that allowed you to make it, friend. I'm grateful for all of it.
And so it's the all right of even in that I can find humor. It hurts like hell, but I'm like, you know what? Here we are. So that's a thing to be all right about.
I have so many questions about this injury. I really do, but I'm going to save them. I'm going to save them.
I have them too, so if you know who to ask, let me know.
I'm going to ask them offline. But
so with that, how are you?
I'm managing. I have to tell you, these are crazy times, and the effects of these times are like the day to day, moment to moment effects of the times that we're living in on this human experience are sometimes really surprising. Like it's just very like I'm just going about my work or going about my day, and it's like, oh, look, the feeling, an impact. So I am managing, and so yeah, that is what it is. My glasses are crooked. I frequently have to adjust my glasses because one of my ears is higher than the other one. And so my glasses are frequently crooked. And don't look at me like that, y'all. Everybody has a side of their body that is not exactly the same proportion as the other side. I mean, the same size as the other side. Every single one of us does. And if we don't, if I have been led astray about that, what I believe to be a fact, then just let me live in the lie.
I think it's a fact because I know, like in my hair, one side is always fuller and bouncier and fluffier, and the other side, no matter what, like even when you try to switch the part, it's still like, phew, like it just ain't about that life.
We're just not.
Like the other, like it curls better, it does all the things just like robust, and the other side is like, eh,
Mm.
yeah,
So
my
it
whole
is.
life.
So it is. Well, today we are talking about, we're talking about where we are, right? It is day 49,746 in the age of COVID. and we're
Like
still here.
Was that Star Trek Stardate?
Yeah.
5,927.
Yes. Yes. Captain's log. We're still here.
Still here.
We are still COVIDing. Like so we thought that because this week holds the holiday, well, the day that some celebrate as the holiday of Thanksgiving, the day that others celebrate as the National Day of Remembrance for Native peoples and Native populations, the day that some folks celebrate as the opening of the shopping season, and the day that some folks don't celebrate at all. But that day is tomorrow. And so, inspired by the theme of gratitude and thankfulness, we asked the question, in the age of COVID, is there anything to be grateful for? Is there anything? And we say yes. We say yes in a strong and resounding way. So that's what we're talking about today. I think we're gonna have the conversation around 3 or 4 questions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
wrote the questions down. I have it here.
you're so good. You're so good. So that's a thing to be grateful for. Get you a partner that writes stuff down. Okay? Like be grateful for a partner that writes stuff down here. So why don't you take the first question and lead us off?
Yes. So, our first question is what comes to mind first on the number one thing that you are grateful for in the 2020?
Take it. Take it away.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to ask the question, so I was asking you.
Good.
Oh, okay, and you're asking me back. So my number one thing, it's a shame I had the list beforehand and I'm still trying to think of my answer. And well, it's if I only have to pick one,
Okay. I am here with my behavior.
We don't believe you.
You would have reason to not believe me, but I am doing my best.
So, I am, that actually fits into my what I'm grateful for list, believe it or not. So, the thing that
I'm
comes
grateful
to
for a
mind,
partner with no behavior. Yay! No, please, please, please tell me it's not that.
is not that. So, what I was trying to like capture, and I don't know how to put it in a like a one quick hit thing, but I am grateful that the worries and woes of my world are minuscule. Like they are not major
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the little stuff like, how the hell did I wake up with a hurting ankle? And
I don't know
like,
if that's
what?
little, friend. I don't know if
But
that's little.
it's not a situation that now I have to struggle to figure out how am I going to make my income because my foot hurts, but I can't get to work. And if I
Mm.
don't get to work, I can't eat. And so, like, my woes are little random stuff like that that's like, what the devil? And so I am grateful that my woes are minuscule like that, and that there are points of joy and laughter and foolishment and lightness in my
Mm-hmm.
world.
Yeah.
So when it is, we are here and it's like, you ain't got no behavior. And so just like the sounds of laughter get to reverberate through my life and my day at random points. And it's not a something I necessarily have to go in search of or to be in struggle before I can find
Yes.
that it's constantly present. And so I am grateful that even when I am like in a crappy mood, like I don't have to look or search far to find or lay hands on even a small thing, that I can be reminded of things that I am grateful for and blessed by.
I absolutely appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. Like 100%. And I know my head is down a little bit, so it looks like I'm not paying attention, but I 100% am. One of our dear friends is living abroad right now temporarily and wanted to tune into the live stream, so I was trying to manage that request. Um
Awesome.
but yeah, so I am, but I 100% appreciate that sentiment, because right now there's just, it's kind of like what it speaks to what inspired us to have this episode, which is the question of, like, in such a time as this, is there is there anything to be grateful for? And the answer for both of us immediately was, oh yeah, yeah, 100%, yes. And that, sorry, my glasses were crooked again because ears, but but that is, it's such a powerful grounding, because it is really easy for, I don't know about you, I'm just speaking for myself, it is really easy for now to feel and to be overwhelming. It is, I mean, there is a tsunami of stuff coming at every single one of us right now. And so to be knocked off of our moors, is, I mean, that's easy. And to lose contact with the foundational things that anchor us firmly in our lives is really easy. And so being able to access joy and gratitude as an immediate thing, that's just inspiring to me. That's inspiring to me, 100%.
Yeah. I think tsunami is a good way of putting it, because it is the not just that one wave, but then the tide goes back out, and so you can find your footing. It just keeps coming, and every time you feel like you almost got or starting to get a hold on, then another one comes and just mollywops you again. So
You said
it can.
mollywop. I'm just, I just want you to know that I know that you said mollywop.
So do you have any questions about what I meant though?
Nope.
There you go.
Nope.
So what's your number one?
um, Mine is actually pretty similar in that the things that make me me, the things that make my life mine, I have access to them readily. The things that keep me safe, the things that make me well nourished, I have I have access to those things. And it is I was stricken. We are talking offline about this on another in another conversation. Naomi's here. Hey, Naomi. Um, we are talking about gratitude. So the question under consideration right now is, what is the first thing that comes to mind for you when you say I am grateful for something right now? And I was saying that I was stricken because today I actually had to go into the wild outside. I don't fool with outside. Because I am not ashamed to say that I am afraid of COVID. I am count me in the column of COVID afraid. That's me.
Table
Um,
for one, please.
Table for one, 6 feet away from anybody else's table. Right.
And keep my table outside.
Right. So I am so afraid of COVID that I am not sitting at my mother's table uh, on on this eating holiday. But I am, or with family, in a grouping at all. Um, but I had to go outside today because we needed some groceries. And so
The Wild West in and of
a
itself.
trip to
Imagine
the
a time where you go like the day before Thanksgiving to anybody's grocery store.
I went this morning and it
Yeah.
was it was actually it was actually all right. There was nobody nobody was really out. As it I imagine as it gets later into the day there'll be more crowds, but I was shopping for the things that we plan to cook for dinner tomorrow. And of course, in the grocery store, you go off script, or at least I do. And I don't know why, and I don't know what was happening that even triggered this, but I just stopped and stood still in the middle of the grocery store, and was because I was just like really present to this large feeling of gratitude, because everything in that grocery cart I could pay for. I didn't have any questions about what whether I would be able to have a meal for dinner tonight or tomorrow night, or anything like that. I wasn't worried about at all. Like, when I went to present my form of payment, if that was going to be sufficient. And right now there are so many people who are food insecure, who are housing insecure, who have the very basic things that we take for granted, like just not on terra firma at all. There are reports and news articles of lines for food deliveries and for grocery support, and mutual aid, and donations, right? Being like snaking around buildings, right? They're having to organize, how to get the lines moving through efficiently, excuse me. And I was just standing there, like, in a way that I don't think it's ever really hit me before, or at least not in a present moment, where I was just like, wow, I'm okay. I'm okay. Now listen, there are other things in life where I'm a real person. And so there are other things in life where I'm like, who's going to pay for that? or that needs a plan. but
Yeah.
it's not groceries.
Yeah.
right? It's not where am I going to sleep tonight, and is it going to be safe, and is it going to be secure? So that's the first thing. That's the first thing that comes up for me, is that I'm taken care of in truly the most basic, or the most fundamental of ways.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Aisha's here. Hey, Aisha.
Hey, Aisha.
And Naomi says, I am grateful for ease of breath, in breath, breathing deeply. And she too is afraid of COVID. And I too am afraid of the COVID.
Mark it down.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Mark it down for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So, our next question is, what is on your no take back list from 2020?
Okay, so things that we're grateful for that have come up in 2020 that we're not willing to give back,
Yes,
post COVID or after 2020.
you got it.
Can we just say this one in unison? It's two words. Should we just say on the count of three? Can we just say it? 1, 2, 3. Curbside pickup.
Curbside pickup. Oh, the ordering ahead and picking up and not being required to get like dressed. You can't take that back.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Not giving it back.
I absolutely need to have that. I gotta have it.
And it's so funny because it existed before.
It
It was
did.
just more limited. And I remember being like, man, who needs that? That's just, you can go in there. And now I'm like, I'm sorry. I am sorry to those people that I shouldn't.
Right?
I did not mean, I did not know.
Mm-mm.
Please forgive me.
Yeah. It's. Whoo.
That part.
Naomi's.
Even the
Wait, even the what?
even just being able to order ahead and it's just ready. So there are some places where they don't quite have curbside, but the fact that you can put your order for the liquor store in ahead of time and just walk in and show your ID and they hand you your bag or your box of stuff and you
Yes,
can be
and
right
you're
up
out.
out of there. Like, thank you very kindly. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
Yep.
We don't need to talk about how long a little bit's gonna be.
It's so true. It's just. Yeah, it's pretty stunning. And I will say that it has allowed me to stay in relationship with some businesses that I otherwise wouldn't be able to patronize because of my own personal COVID restrictions. There is a natural food and supply store, and it is postage stamp size. I love this place. It's wonderful, but it's tiny. So if three people are going to socially distance in this place, two of them are going to be outside. So because it's that small.
And one of the three is the person working in the store.
But I'm telling you that I called up there and I was like, can we work something out? Because I was out of my lavender oil and some other things. And they were like, we got you. No problem. And they really did. They just arranged for a curbside pickup. This was at the very beginning of the quarantine or sheltering in place. And so yeah. So, Lisa's here. Hey, Lisa. Lisa says that she is grateful for us because she is the sweetest person. Thank you, friend. We're grateful for you too. Yeah. Naomi says take away alcohol.
That part.
Listen,
I don't understand how they're gonna put that genie back in the bottle.
I don't think
I
you
don't think
can.
it's gonna work.
I don't think you can. I think that that's just a done deal. We're going to update the licensing and just codify those emergency measures or whatever was done to allow that
You
to
have
happen,
to.
and just get on with life because people are not going
Yeah.
back. And it's me.
Nobody's
I'm
giving that
people.
back.
I'm people. um oh, Lisa says Zoom church. Yes, Zoom church is she's not going back. I totally get that. I totally get that. I There has been so much rich community engagement and community events and that sort of stuff that I've had access to in the age of COVID that I just wouldn't have had access to otherwise, just
Hmm.
because the geographical distance is too great, or time zone management, or or whatever it is. But being able to be part of our spiritual community, our religious community on the Zoom.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
will. I want to go back to church, but we're still gonna need to have this Zoom live stream something
Yeah.
option. Because some Sundays, the idea that I can both have lazy Sunday in my robe and attend church in the same Sunday, like I get both things, like, yeah, you can't take that back. Like
No.
sometimes I miss like the getting dressed up because I like the pageantry of church as well.
Mm-hmm.
But some days, like, I can be in my pajamas and go to church too.
I will also
Like,
try not to judge me, friend,
yeah.
but dressed or not dressed, whatever my state of dress, being able to have a cup of coffee or some tea
Yes.
while I'm in church is a
Like, I
big
do not come
deal.
without my coffee. Like,
Right.
sometimes I will be camera off late because I'm like, but my coffee though.
Yes. Yes. So, yes, being able to have coffee in the sanctuary. I know. I know. I know. Judge your mama. Whatever. She's drinking coffee with me in the sanctuary. I
Right?
assure you. Naomi says we are stuck with her for real. Like, we're stuck with her.
Like glue.
We count it not a burden, friend. We count it
Not
not a
even like
burden.
lazy Elmer's glue, like crazy glue stuck.
Stuck.
Like the one that you can't get it off.
Yep. Like, love you, mean it stuck.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lisa says that she has loved Imani so much and will miss it if they stop offering the Zoom broadcast of the service when outside opens. The Imani that Lisa is referring to is Imani Community Church in Oakland, California, which happens to be the church that I attend as well. And so,
Me too. Me
yeah,
too. Me
me
too.
too. Alicia does too. Yeah.
Don't worry, Lisa. The people will riot. You are not alone in that
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. It's They just won't give it back. It's not even a thing, which is
It's
so
not
funny
even.
because I don't know how long it took for that idea to be embraced. I know that there were conversations about it before. Uh-oh. There were conversations about it before, I'm sure. I don't know how long that was a consideration before COVID, but they sure did roll it out pretty quickly
Yeah.
in the age
That's
of
what.
COVID, and it's been beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of the fortunate things. Like that conversation had been happening, and so they had actually purchased the equipment
Mm,
and had started laying the groundwork and were getting ready. Like I can remember in the couple of weeks pre-COVID,
okay.
where nobody knew COVID was about to be a thing,
Right.
they were actually recruiting volunteers for to start training for some sort of live stream ministry.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great. Yeah. So things that we're not giving back. Curbside delivery.
Bedside
Tip those
Baptist.
people. Tip those people. Okay. Folks who are bringing you things to your car and adding to the quality of your life by providing conveniences for you. Gratuities. The
Yeah,
root of gratuity is gratitude, right? Where it's shared with gratitude. Tip those people.
that
Um,
part.
but yeah, yeah, 100%.
Curbside Bedside Baptist,
You
where
said
you actually are in attendance.
bedside Baptist. Let's go on to the next question before people are just through with us. Before folks are just through with us. Sorry, I
You
didn't
knew
turn
I
a
was
light on
here.
in this room, so I feel like I'm in shadow. But anyway, just bear with me.
You look fabulous.
Well,
You got
thanks,
the
friend.
natural lighting. It's wonderful.
Thanks, friend. I appreciate you.
So, our next question is what has 2020 given you that is in the plus column, a positive?
I need to think about how to articulate this one, so I think you got to go first on this one.
But I was going to think while you was talking.
Okay. All right. What has 2020 given me that's in the plus column? I I mean there are any number of things, right? There are so many things, but um 2020 a has given me a different way to plug in and contribute to the social movements that are important to me. Um, it has given me different ways to, or different opportunities to plug in with community full stop. And by different opportunities, I mean even down to just different ideas, right? Like just creative ideas about how to be in community, right? Like we're getting on Zoom on Friday, and my mom and my sister and I are baking cookies together, right? That's not something that, I mean, there have been plans. I was supposed to send a grocery list that I forgot to send, so I hope they have all the stuff. But,
Like, do you
but
need me to send my address so the cookies
right.
can come to me?
But yeah, I mean, of course, that was available to us before, but who was thinking of that? Nobody was thinking of that. We were thinking
Right.
about how do we get together, or we'll make cookies, we'll bake cookies the next time I'm home, or they're here or whatever. So it's given me that. It has given me deeper relationships with people who were strangers to me. So yes, I befriend strangers on the internet, but just not all of them. So
And
frankly,
not in the creepy
right,
way.
just not most of them. But it has given me yeah, communities to gather with around my hobbies and interests. So my Black Women Stitch community, his like those community relationships have deepened. It has given me access to our work in a way that feels deeper. um to me, it has given me, us, and but here, this me, I mean us, you and me, opportunities to really show up powerfully for people and to help in times where they really need some help. Like sometimes you do your work and you don't necessarily feel the impact. It's there, but you don't necessarily feel it. But in 2020, we've really had an opportunity to see our work at work, and that's been wonderful. And it's given me some quiet. It's given me some internal quiet. Well, some quiet so that I can deepen my internal relationship. I think that's a good start for a list. How about you?
Oh, I needed a whole list. I thought we were just doing a one, but I like yours. They were good. Um, Mine lands in a kind of a similar way. But I would call it just an expansiveness. So, I was talking to somebody and we were talking about some of the expanded benefits that come out of kind of the COVID era. And I know like COVID hasn't been all of 2020, but it has gotten up most of the airplay of 2020 because it was all but those first 2 months basically that it's been in this time. And so just some expansiveness in ways that some like I knew I needed it, but I didn't know how to accomplish it, and it kind of forced the issue, and but did it in a way that it didn't feel painful. And some I didn't know I needed. So thinking about even like conversation around working from home, for instance, and that was a thing that was always available to me in some way, but it wasn't a thing that I really gravitated to. And so this kind of forced the issue and now has worked it out. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can do this. Like, what you mean go back? Who's doing that? Or and then what that also created was getting to just enjoy home and my space a bit more because I'm here more, whereas before I was out at work and in my office so much of the time. And so there are just some little pieces that I've gotten to tap into in ways that I never have in the whole time that I've lived here. And so that's been kind of cool. And then expanded benefits of just kind of community and folks that I connect with. And even though some of them I may have known before, like we are connected in a different way and bonded in a different way out of this, that is a plus that didn't exist before because the shutting out all the other movement and activity and different things that happened when we were all sheltering in place and as in whatever iteration of sheltering we are in, depending on geographically where we are, that those bonds are kind of more solidly formed. So thinking about Naomi talking about glue together earlier, and when you glue the thing and you're trying to check it to see if it's stuck and you check too soon, and so you can see it and it's just like the bond isn't there yet. And so I think some of those bonds, it's like we are super glued, like it is set and we ain't got to worry about that thing anymore. So that is one of the things that I would say is definitely a plus, just that expansive, that it's expanded like my physical world and my connected world as well.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. Naomi is high fiving you. She's saying yes, Alicia, on this idea of capacity, just expansiveness in the capacity for that which I didn't know I wanted or needed. Yeah. Naomi says, she also says she's getting so clear on the things and the people that she wants for her life. I get that 100%. Ooh, also so many virtual learning opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Time to rest, time to read, time to plan. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Lisa says these virtual connections are truly meaningful. I agree. I agree. I think one other thing that's coming up for me sort of on this topic is there has been I'm totally tracking with you and 100% in agreement with this, this idea of capacity. I use that word a lot. And but not so much. A word I don't always often use is validation, because it's not something that we tend to seek necessarily. But 2020 has given a certain validation, particularly in our work. For me, we when we started this business, we chose to do it in a different way. We chose to have Zoom available for our clients and to integrate that technology into our practice from the start. We chose to make our calendar available to the public at all, like 24 hours a day. The calendar is available. We're not available 24 hours a day, but we chose to make ourselves of like make our availability public so that people could reach us, right, around these ideas of accessibility, um, and presence, right? We chose to set ourselves up in a way that allows us to work remotely, from our homes, from our clients' homes, from, to be able to be
The
able,
beach.
yeah, well, I'll let you know when that has happened for me, but and I assure you that if I'm at the beach, I don't really want to be working, and I want that for you as well. So, um, but we did that. Sorry, there's a little bug that came in here with me. It's flying around. But we did that early on, and it was, at the time, it was uncommon, right? It was unusual. And some people even looked at us like, girl. Or I think I remember somebody even telling us once, like, you need to set yourselves up like a real law firm. You don't want people to think that you're practicing law out of your parents' garage or something like that, which I get. And that, I mean, no shade, that consideration is that can be a real thing for some people. But then along comes 2020, and now people are doing, right, they are normalizing and regularizing some things that we've been doing. And so one of the blessings that has been for us is we didn't have to do a big getting ready for 2020.
Mm-mm.
We did not have to do a big conversion of our practice in order to stay in contact with our clients and with our business. And so that, if not validation, maybe validation is going too far, but affirmation, I think that's appropriate. And I would land that in the plus column, because when you're doing something that's not always like the way that everybody else does it, then it can be a little like, can cause you to question a bit. So anyway,
High five, pass brain.
yeah, I don't want to wax on too much about that, but that did pop up for me.
That's a good one. Before you were saying that, another positive that I think pops up, similar to what Naomi was saying with the virtual learning and those opportunities, just some of the things that have been born out of this time that I don't know would have existed, and they're just really cool to see. And so the thing that comes to mind first in that is thinking about some of just the absolute epic pop culture moments that we've gotten out of verses, and
Mm-hmm.
like just
Ooh,
what
Patti
it would have
LaBelle and
taken
Gladys
to
Knight,
try to
honey.
make those things come together to do that. So like Miss Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle, like
Mm-hmm.
come on. Like, that's must see TV. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And it just, those are the sorts of things that could it have happened before? Absolutely. But just all the other stuff of life that different people either wouldn't have been willing to do it or wouldn't have allowed it to happen
Mm-hmm.
because of the money or the this or the that or the other things. And so the fact that people have put all of that down. So we hear this whole everybody talking about we're all in this together, and I don't think that's necessarily true, because the we in this are not on equal footing to make it like it's equal sacrifice here in this situation,
Yep.
but that it has caused everybody to get creative. And so that some of the regular people and just normal folk get to be the benefactors of some of that creativity in ways that in other times people would have been creative, but it would have had such a cost to it that so many people wouldn't have gotten to be a part of it.
Yeah. 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 For sure. Accessibility is, yeah. So accessibility, affirmation, capacity, expansiveness. These are the themes that, connection. Aisha, hey girl, hey. Aisha is saying that she thinks that virtual connections have always been meaningful, But now people all see it. I really think that that's an important point because there are so many. Let's see, I can think of a couple of relatives, for example, who pre-COVID had robust virtual communities. Some of them were built around gaming. Some of them were built around anime communities and that sort of thing. And those connections and communities are no less real because they happen virtually than than in person, than communities built in person. And now everybody, kind of like Aisha is saying, everybody is seeing the value of that. And so yeah, thanks Aisha. I think that's a really important point.
Very.
Lisa is a fool. Lisa says, I learned to hand embroider. I hand stitched and did not die.
Yes, we'll put positives column.
Right. Well, and we learn things. So if for anybody who's here who has not been here before or has not heard us say it, Alicia and I both sew as a hobby. We have other hobbies, but this is one hobby that we have in common. And so some of our sewing community, particularly the Black Women Stitch community, is really important to us. And one of the Black Women Stitch community leaders, the founder of the group, Lisa Wolfwork, is notoriously averse to hand sewing. We all know this. And so
taping patterns.
Right, yes, hand sewing and taping PDF patterns. And that is so the fact that Lisa is hand stitching is like it's a miracle. So and Naomi is talking about sewing things that she wouldn't otherwise sew. So she made bras. She made what we call panty draws. So underwear and lingerie and that sort of thing. Absolutely. A whole new set of skills. Right?
Not only is she making them, she's teaching them.
Right.
That's how she got.
Right. That's so true.
Did it and now teaches other people how to do it.
Exactly. Yes. So 2020 has given us an opportunity to learn from one another in a way that, I mean, maybe we would have, maybe we wouldn't have, but in 2020 we did.
Point.
Yeah.
To Aisha's point, like that was always available to us because Zoom is not new, FaceTime is not new, like pick a thing. So the ability to make that happen in a virtual space was not new, but people have really tapped into it in a different way.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And
definitely putting that in the plus column.
Yeah. And just the level of generosity. Like people have been so generous. There are whole lecture series and talks and conversations that, pre-COVID, we would have paid money for. I mean, we would pay money for them now. I'm not saying that they don't have monetary value or that we should not pay people for their labor because we should. Yes. Nodding heads. Yes. Okay. But right. Yes. But people have been so willing to share. So this whole bra making or lingerie making, for example, that came up within the group because one of our friends knew how to do it and said, and has been doing it for a long time and just said, oh, sure, I'll show you how to do it. And bada boom, bada bing, right? Like she's taught us these new skills. So Lisa's so funny. She's laughing about what you were saying about the verses with Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight. She says, I love how Miss Gladys was like, I'll come and do your little show. I'll come.
Right. That part.
Oh goodness, that's funny.
That
Naomi
part right there.
Naomi says in person YTT 300. So this is an advanced level yoga teacher training.
Oh, okay.
Was
It's
not
like YKK zippers. I don't know
right.
that one.
Right. YTT is yoga teacher training. 300 is a
Thank you.
300-hour level. Um, it was not immediately affordable, and it's paid for thanks to the virtual landscape of things. Yeah, so some things have become more accessible.
Mhm.
Aisha is talking about learning to dye fabrics as we're talking about sharing our knowledge within community and within group and having more skills as a result. She says it's a whole new world. I love that
Yep.
there's so much in the plus column.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it too.
I love it.
That is excellent.
Indeed.
Should we ask one more question?
Um yeah, we're coming close to the end of our lunch hour. So yeah, I think we have time for one more question though.
All right. So, this next one is what has 2020 taken away that is a positive?
Oh, we did our good question asking on this. Okay. Okay. I really do need you to go first on this one.
Okay, I got it. So, I think a thing that has been taken away that I count as a positive is just it's a thing that I think it comes away just as you age and mature in life a little bit, but I've seen more of it in 2020, and that's just some of the inhibitions that you have when you're younger, or not inhibitions, but just fear of trying new things or being creative about things. And like as you get older, like you give a damn ability about some of that stuff kind of fades away a little bit, but 2020 kind of came in at it with like a big chisel and a hammer to just knock a bunch more of those away, and to be okay with it and to be visible and loud about it, and that everybody is kind of in that same vein. So there are certain things that that I can recall of things that maybe would have caused me more stress to do them in 2019 or prior years, but in 2020 it's just like, it is what it is. Like, here we go, and you're just going to take it, and it's just like I don't even feel the same level of stress or anxiety about it as like I can think of in younger days where there would have been more hand wringing and consternation with it. And now I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, this is what it is. And if you don't like that, then I invite you to go elsewhere. Good day. So
Yeah, I
I
think
think that is a plus.
so. I hear you saying like just removing of some inhibitions. Yeah, yeah, just feeling less inhibited. I I get that. I get that. I'm thinking of this live stream as an example, right? When we were like, we talked about starting this thing like ages ago, and for various reasons, um, didn't do it. But finally, we're like, you know, we'll figure out how the internet works. We'll figure it out well enough to get the live stream up, and whatever concerns we have or would have about strangers on the internet judging us, we just sort of pulled those off and did it anyway. And I don't know whether that would have happened in 2020 or not, but it did. And so yeah, I hear you
Yeah.
on removing inhibitions. I would add to that. Um, there's lots of double negatives here, so I want to try to say it right. Removing reticence or unwillingness to engage with other people's lives, with other people's lived experience. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is, well, I don't guess, I'm saying removing barriers to empathy, right? Um, we see so much of how people of how people's lived experiences are now, right? There's Zoom. We are looking into each other's living spaces, right? This is,
Mm-hmm.
I live here. This is this place with this background that you can see, like this is my home where I lay my head down and sleep at night. And there's not a chance in the world that random strangers would be invited into my home necessarily.
Right.
But as a result, I mean, not necessarily specifically of that. I was just pointing that out as an example. But we are we are in each other's lived experiences in a different way in 2020. And I have to believe that us being in each other's lives, in each other's spaces, requires us to engage in a different way. Now, listen, there are plenty of people for whom that type empathy is never going to be a reality, right? The give a damn ability is going to be and remain quite low. But
Sad but true.
yeah, but that's not the experience for everybody. And so getting to see the removal of, or and getting to practice, right, the removal of barriers to empathy is a thing that 2020 can get a hand clap for. Does that make
I
sense to
like it.
you? I know what I
It
mean. Do you know
does.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. I think it's like I hear you saying that both from a personal level, but just like collectively, that people, like it has created space for people to make room for other people's lives and to
Hmm.
see that because we are all having to connect in new and different ways that we never would have. So
Hmm.
very much like like when did we have clients in our homes unless like you were a somebody that I knew before and we
Right.
decided to work together?
Right.
That's the only way you were going to be up in my house. And so that,
Yeah.
or to see like just the randomness of life that is happening.
People's
So
kids.
um,
And I
yeah.
mean, you get to see what it takes to be a person now, right? Like how many meetings or Zoom conferences have you been in where somebody has said, well, hang on a second, my baby is XYZ, or hold on a second, I have to reset up the class for my child in their Zoom school, or
Always
or
going nuts about something.
right. Or, the signal is slow because myself and my spouse and, the kids are all are all using all of the household internet for work and school right now. And all of those things were always true. People always
Yeah.
had kids, people always had, family and other things to contend with at home. And that's always been a very real part of our lived experiences in the day to day. In 2020, we're getting to see that, right?
Yeah.
Like your boss gets to see your kids, you get to see your bosses and your coworkers, or whatever it is, whatever community you're in. And I guess the part that lands on me as the plus is how we automatically make room.
It's so
Like,
reciprocal now.
how many times do we say, I mean, the it's fine if the baby has questions or wants to talk or wants to play, just let the baby play. We can continue talking about what we're talking about. It's fine. Or
Mm-hmm.
do you need to call me back? Or do we need
Yeah.
to move to a different time? Like, when does baby nap? Can we do you want to move for then? It's just, yeah, it's Naomi says you get to see your kids, right? Like, That is a plus. And Lisa is
Yeah.
saying in 2020, the removing of some performance pressures,
Hmm.
reminding us of what matters, and proceeding without the expectation of perfection. I think that is so, yeah, that's so spot on. Lisa,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you
it
for
is
that.
really good.
100%.
Yeah, thinking about the kids and all the life and management, a thing that I think people may think I'm goofy about this, and I don't care. Is whenever like we're talking to clients and there's children and all the stuff and the
All of it.
things, and people are always trying to mute and manage and do all of the things, and I'm quick to tell them like, please don't feel like you need to mute because the baby is crying on my account. Like those little signs of life to me are just the reminder that we are going to be all right, that life continues, and that there are little people that are just doing life and are not as affected by this. And because life is still life, pandemic or no. So, baby crying, cooing, dogs wilding out,
All of it.
like I will take all of it, every bit of it.
Yep.
No, I think it was last week or the week before. I heard the little kids out in the backyard, like they're outside playing, and there tends to be a point every afternoon where I think their parents just get sick of them being in the house, and they just open the back door and just
Turn
be
them
like,
loose.
everybody get out.
Ollie, Ollie, oxen free,
Like
everybody.
one day there's a little girl that is like screaming at the top of her lungs. The first time I heard it, I was like, wait, is that
Is she in
distress? Are we all
distress?
right?
Right.
And then like you would hear it's like, I won't scream into the microphone, but it's like the high pitch, the low pitch, the like staccato, the wailing. And I'm like, oh, she's just practicing her various screams. Okay. I'm
Okay.
glad she has a place to get that
Yeah.
out. Or some children that are just hollering at their top of their lungs who let the dogs out and then barking in And so the fact that these are the sounds that interrupt my workday, I'm like,
I'll
yes,
take it.
thank you. Bring it.
I will take it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think that we have hit the end of our lunch hour. Um, I am really glad that this feels like a conversation in progress. So even though we are ending the lunch hour, we are not at the end of we're not at the end of our gratitude or our plus column impacts for 2020. Lisa says, I think we all need to practice our screens outside. I'm good with it. Let's do it.
I'm sure she's willing to give lessons.
You know what? There's an episode of Grey's Anatomy. I don't know who watches that show, but I know Alicia. I know you watch it, but but I don't always know like what you want shared on these internets, and so I talk about my own stuff. I
Fair.
don't.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I don't know what to talk about sure. But there's a part of one of the recent episodes where a couple of the doctors are just screaming. They are just hollering
That
at
was so
each other, and they
hilarious.
were like, "It's cathartic.
Like, oh, that feels
It
good.
feels good." So anyway, I thank you so much for being here. I thank you, Holland, for being my partner and putting up with all of the stuff that makes me me and valuing that. Even I am grateful for you in 2020, and I am grateful for us in 2020. I'm grateful for the work that we do and the way that we do it, and that we get to do it together.
Back at you.
Well, thanks, friend. Naomi
Your
says,
homework assignment is to keep peopling.
yeah, 100%. 100%. Um, Naomi says, me. She is co signing. Lisa says, thanks again. It's been another good time. Um, Yeah, yeah. I'm going to continue considering these questions. I know we had at least one or two more questions available to us. So, oh, was it
No,
only the
we did
three?
them all.
We did? Okay, good.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
for
well,
another short
yeah,
episode.
we'll hold those. We'll hold those in the bag for next time. Anyway, we will see you all here next Wednesday. We meet here every Wednesday at 12:30 Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern time, and yeah, bring yourselves, bring your questions. I think next Wednesday we are back to what are we talking about next week? Oh, I know what we're talking about next week. I think we're talking about organ donation
Yeah, I
next
think that
week,
may
and
be right.
yeah, anatomical gifts next week. I think is what we're talking about. In any event, bring your legacy questions, your legacy thoughts, your ideas. Bring them here. We are happy to discuss them every Wednesday, 12:30. In the meantime, if you need to reach us, you can get us at Dahlia Law Group on Instagram. You can reach us at www.dahlialawgroup.com on the internets. And you can email us at dlg@dahlialawgroup.com, noticing a trend. And that'll get us. We're happy to talk to you. All right, you all have a wonderful week. Have a good time celebrating whatever you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate anything holiday wise, that is just fine. But I do hope that there is something in your life that you can feel grateful for, and somebody that you can celebrate, because you belong to you after all, and that's worth celebrating indeed.
Amen.
All right, y'all. Bye.